Straight ahead on WBKB, back to normal. Michigan's COVID-19 restrictions are lifted. Plus, Alpena Power is requesting a rate increase and what you need to know before traveling outside the U.S. You're watching Thunder Bay News Network. WBKB News at 6 starts now.
This is WBKB News at 6. An in-depth look at news, weather, and sports. From hard-hitting news stories to local events, we're there with coverage you can count on. You're watching WBKB News at 6.
Good evening and thank you for joining us. I'm Sherry Stewart. Governor Whitmer announced the end of the state's COVID restrictions at a press conference in Detroit Tuesday. The governor says this is a happy and joyful moment for Michigan.
This is an exciting announcement that we are now dropping the EPI orders. Effective today, there is no more mask or gathering order. Our Pure Michigan summer is back and we can realize it.
Whitmer also announced today she is proposing using $100 million of aid from the Biden administration to fully fund futures for frontliners. We'll have more on the governor's announcement tonight at 11. And as restrictions are lifted today, WBKB's Tyler Cruz is live in downtown Alpena, where businesses are looking forward to a normal summer. Tyler, what's going on down there?
Hey Sherry, I'm in downtown Alpena where celebrations, festivals, and all other events, even just dinner with the family, can finally get back to the way it was. No mask mandates, no social distancing, and no capacity restrictions. I talked to a few businesses here in the area, and they tell me they're excited for a normal summer season. COVID-19 restrictions and measures now a thing of the past. Local businesses in Alpena are looking forward to enjoying a normal summer season again.
I'm looking forward to it because the summer season is when all of us make the money. So we're all busy, all happy.
Super excited. Glad it happened this early in the summer. Really happy to have all of our normal customer stuff happening again.
As of today, there is no mask mandate in Michigan, no capacity restrictions, and no social distancing measures in place. Businesses hope that restrictions being lifted will hopefully bring more customers through the doors.
Back to having full rentals without having to tell people that they can only have part of their family here or part of their friends here. It's really nice to be able to be like, yeah, bring everybody, it's fine. It's totally cool.
After struggling for the past year and then some, small business owners are excited to finally put the pandemic behind them and welcome customers and employees back into their lives.
For other small businesses to also be able to bounce back is really, really good for town and really, really good for everybody. It feels more like a community again.
It feels more like a community again. If the weather was better, we'd have a great downtown scene for you tonight, but shops and bars are busier and people are coming back out again. Live in downtown Alpena, I'm Tyler Cruz, WBKB News.
Thanks for that, Tyler. Now we're going to head over to Ellie Morrison with the first check of our weather. Ellie, that's great news for downtown and back to normal. What about the weather?
For those that want to stroll downtown, the weather is going to look better tomorrow than it did today. We had some showers and thunderstorms that moved through the area, and in fact, we have another shower that's just passing through Alpena County currently. It's heading off towards the east. It'll be in downtown Alpena shortly. Throughout the area, we are seeing cloudy skies in Alpena, cool temperatures at 55 degrees, 57 in Oscoda. Tonight, we'll be heading into the 40s, so not quite as cold as what we woke up to this morning. Lows around 43 degrees during the early morning. Tomorrow, by the middle of the morning, we're heading into the 60s. Afternoon highs getting up to about 77 degrees. We'll talk about when we'll see our next chances of showers and thunderstorms a bit later in the program.
Thank you, Ellie. We'll check in with you a little bit later in the program. Alpena Power wants to increase their rates before customers will see an increase, however, in their bills. The Michigan Public Service Commission must approve that request. If approved, the typical residential customer's bill will increase by about $7. The last rate increase was in 2018. The company says since then they have suffered declining sales and increased operational expenses. Alpena Power serves 16,000 customers in Alpena, Alcona, Montmorency, and Presque counties. Well, the city has proposed changes to the fire services contract the township presented the other day. The township and city continued contract negotiations at Monday's council meeting. Township Supervisor Nathan Skibby says the county ambulance millage pays for fire and EMS services. Skibby explains those contract changes.
Their changes were to a 5-year fixed term without any out until the 5th year. The cost and the cap in terms of cost remain the same.
The current contract ends July 1st. They have a board meeting on June 28. Skibby says he hopes a decision will come at that time. He adds he wants the best possible service in a cost-effective way. We're about 2 weeks away from the July 4th holiday, and with the holiday comes fireworks, outdoor fun, and traveling. WBKB's Tiffany Maddox explains what AAA is calling a resurgence for this upcoming holiday.
COVID-19 restrictions in Michigan are lifted, and that means our plans for the holiday may include more in-depth travel. AAA says more than 47.7 million Americans will take at least one domestic trip this Independence Day. That number represents an increase of nearly 40% from last year. State travel figures are also rebounding from last year. About 1.5 million Michiganders are predicted to take a trip during the holiday weekend. And road trips will dominate this summer. Air travel is up, but 91% will travel by car despite the highest gas prices in 7 years. AAA says not only will you see longer TSA wait times at the airport, you'll also see increased traffic on the roads. Their advice: pre-plan, look for the best gas deals, and continue to use the best practices in the fight against COVID-19. In Alpena, Tiffany Maddox, WBKB News.
Thanks for that, Tiffany. And if you are planning to vacation outside the U.S., one industry expert recommends purchasing travel medical insurance. If you get sick or injured while traveling abroad, there's a good chance that your domestic health insurance won't fully cover your treatment. This means you'll have to pay out of pocket for doctor's visits and even trips to the emergency room. Dion Merkovic says many consumers are unaware their private medical coverage stops at the U.S. border.
For most U.S. citizens, their private health plan, Medicare or Medicaid, stops at the border. They don't actually have medical coverage when they're out of country. So if they get sick or injured while they're out of country, they actually may need to pay out of pocket for all those expenses, which can be quite expensive.
Markovic says some countries require proof of COVID-19 insurance to protect you against medical costs of being hospitalized or quarantined. He says travel medical insurance is relatively inexpensive and worth the investment for your peace of mind while traveling abroad. Shoppers still have a few more hours to take advantage of Amazon Prime, but you may also want to make sure your purchases and information are safe. The Better Business Bureau is warning shoppers about scams as Amazon Prime Day kicked off Monday. The BBB says there is an uptick in scams, including robocalls, email, phishing, and tracking deliveries. The Bureau says Amazon is the second most impersonated business by scammers in the U.S. And for a list of tips and information to report these scams, you can visit our website at WBKB11.com. There's more news ahead for you here on WBKB. Coming up, a new bill could provide more resources for pregnant women. And meteorologist Ellie Morrison will have your 7-day forecast.